The fact is, Anthony Davis wouldn't give the okay to publicize it because he didn't want to go to work every day working for the Pelicans in front of those great fans. Everybody knows that it's official. He wants out. But in order to give Magic Johnson the window of opportunity that he was so craving, you had to make this public. And now it gives Magic basically the floor for the next 10 days with limited competition. Anybody else that tries to get Anthony Davis has no intention of signing with them long term. The one team that's a competitor in all of this is Boston, and because of the Rose rule with Kyrie Irving and all of that stuff, you've got to move him elsewhere in order to get Anthony Davis in Boston. I don't know if Boston wants to do that unless they're definitive about Anthony Davis's willingness to sign long term with them. Magic Johnson is officially in the spotlight and under the gun because he has this window before the NBA trading deadline with no competition to get it done. If anybody can do it, Magic Johnson can, but the odds of him pulling this off, in my estimation, Max, are slim because I don't believe that the Pelicans are going to be cooperative. That's my reservation. It's not about Magic. It's about the Pelicans cooperating.
The odds are against it. Like, if you want to lay odds, you should get odds. You know, I mean, it's a long shot. But I put my money on Magic getting it done. He got LeBron James done. You know, the Lakers had cap space for years and years and years, and no one would sign with the Lakers. And they got the biggest fit. Listen, LeBron James is worth 2 MVP players. Like, if you have Steph and KD over here and LeBron over there, and then surround them with similar talent, that's even money, right? Like, give them the equal talent on either side. He's that much better than everyone else, in my opinion. So he got that done. That was the biggest thing. He didn't get Paul George done, a few other things out of his control. He has a window now. What is happening here? This is very easy. Anthony Davis wants to play for the Lakers. That's why you hire Rich Paul, to get you to the Lakers. Every team in the league now knows it. Why would you trade for him? You're going to have to trade a lot, damaging your team, for a rental. How's that working out with Kawhi in Toronto? No one believes Kawhi is going to stay in Toronto. So when he puts it, are you going to gamble all your assets that you can convince Anthony Davis to stay in your mid-market town or your sport? No. Teams are unlikely to do that now. That's why you put it out. So the question is, has putting this out there devalued Anthony Davis as a trade asset to the point where he's on this side, and on the other side, the combination of Lonzo Ball, Kyle Kuzma, and Brandon Ingram give you enough trade weight, enough assets to pull it off? I would say if you do maybe at least a 3-team deal, and you're going to have to include KCP's expiring contract, Magic will figure out a way to get this done.
The LeBron James deal, Max, was a lot different because he was already planting seeds to come anyway.
Correct.
This is why it's the first time in a long time that he signed a long-term deal, because he knows at this point of his career he want to end with one team versus in Miami or the Cavs, he didn't give them that leverage, which hindered them from actually bringing in other top-tier free agents at certain points. I must make sure I recognize for the people the reason why we're only talking about the Lakers possibly or the Celtics when there are 29 other NBA teams. It is because, A, Anthony Davis could tell the new suitor that he won't re-sign. That leads to what you just said about Kawhi. However, will there be a team that's willing to give up their best or their second best player for Anthony Davis for a short term, knowing that he may not re-sign?
Can I throw something into this conversation that none of you may have heard because it happened 90 seconds before I left Get Up and came over here? We had Brian Windhorst on live from Los Angeles, NBA insider extraordinaire, and he said there is another team he believes Anthony Davis would consider signing with long-term. Max and Stephen A., you're both going to get very excited when I tell you. He said that team is the New York Knicks. And the question is, would the Knicks be willing to trade their first pick unprotected to New Orleans for Anthony Davis? And so the Pelicans would have the option of trading him for a pick that could turn into Zion Williamson. That was Brian Windhorst live with us 90 seconds before we came on here.
Brian Windhorst does a fantastic job. Very, very proud of him. I don't believe it. Not for 1 second.
Which side don't you believe?
I don't believe that Anthony Davis would consider it. I don't believe that for 1 second. The New York Knicks are a moribund franchise. They're struggling miserably. You look at the Brooklyn Nets, the way that they're playing, the amount of cap space that they have, the questionable health of Porzingis. Now, if Porzingis was 100% and he was back and he was balling and the Knicks didn't seem as pathetic as they are right now, that's a different scenario. I don't think you are Anthony Davis and you have the potential existing of the Lakers on one side and the Boston Celtics on another and you settle for New York. If it were Philly, I would believe.
No, I disagree.
I
disagree. I believe that there is a long shot case for the Knicks, because if you're Anthony Davis and you hire Rich Paul, it's because you think you want to be like the biggest star in the world. There are two portals through which we export culture that way: LA and New York. There are no other markets like it. Don't tell me Silicon Valley, certainly not Boston. Well, the world is different now because of community. No, it is, but it's LA or New York. Now, the Knicks have been so dysfunctional that puts them at an enormous disadvantage here. I do believe they would trade any asset they have as far as trade draft picks go to get Anthony Davis.
Here's why the Knicks situation doesn't work to me. It ain't just about what happens off the floor with endorsements. If you're Anthony Davis, you failed as the best player in New Orleans to make them a contender.
That's right.
That means you can't go to the Knicks that's already a bad team. That ain't gonna happen.
They get Porzingis back.
Here's the thing. My childhood idol, Magic Johnson, is under the gun. Something that he's never been on a 10-day contract. He's on one now. If he's able to get it done, I'm going to tell you what it takes if I'm New Orleans. I'm on the other end of the phone. Of course, I got to take KCP because his money makes it work.
$12 million. Yeah.
I want Kuzma. I want Ingram. I want Ball. I want Zubac and or Mo Wagner.
Sure.
Then we'll have a deal.
Whatever. You can have anything you want.
Correct. But if I'm not getting that deal, then I'm waiting till July, where the Boston Celtics now
Which is
can
why
give
I
me
don't believe.
an opportunity
Which
to
is
have
exactly
somebody
why I
as a competitor.
said I don't put the odds in favor of Magic Johnson.
Yeah, it also because it brings up the possibility. We've heard New Orleans say repeatedly, we're not trading him no matter what happens. There really isn't an obvious upside to them for making a deal right
But
now.
I just real quick. The Lakers will give them anything they want other than LeBron James.
That's
so
us.
in other words, all it comes down to is, do they have enough to get the deal done? That's it.
That's us sitting at the table assuming that they're going to give up 5 players for one.
Of course they would.
I'm just saying they have to do that in order to get it done.